Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and today I want to talk about the Grammys. But first, because yes, the Grammys happened, but first, I know I'm a little bit late on talking about the Grammys. It did happen last Monday, but there has been a lot of shit that has happened in between. Even last week when I had my episode recorded and everything, there was a lot that I forgot to even touch on, and that is where I want to start today. As I wrote down quite a lot of different points here, out of important things, different things being announced, things that I just personally was excited for or am excited about and wanted to share here to just make sure I didn't miss it. Because I know in my last podcast I did. And first and foremost, I need to mention some things that have been announced, that have been released rather, starting with Bring Me the Horizon. They covered Wonderwall. Excuse me? Like, you can tell that we're starting off the episode strong today by talking about Bring Me the Horizon, a metalcore metal band covering Wonderwall by Oasis. And the best thing about it, too, sounded exactly how I thought it would. Like, in my brain, exactly. It made me laugh maniacally over the fact that it was down to the T of how I expected it to sound. And the fact that it was released in the first place is hilarious, because it's so out there. But Liam Gallagher of Oasis has shown his support. He said he loved it. He said it was so good, so inventive, he loved it. So I had to talk about that because it is definitely out there. It's not exactly the best cover in the world, but it is well done. I can't give them props. I can't not give them props for it because it's produced very well and it sounds very good. You just have to be in the mood to listen to it if that's really what you're feeling. Apart from that, though, something that made me very excited as a Black Veil Brides fan, and every fan out there, BVB Army, if you're listening, we don't have to wait too long for new music, I don't think. And that is me being hopeful, yes. But I say that because Andy has come out to say that he was listening to CC, Christian Coma, the drummer of Black Veil Brides. He was listening to him tracking drums. And Jake Pitts, a little bit before that, even said in his Discord that they're back in the studio and recording vocals and guitar parts. And, like, they are working on their new album. And it makes me so excited. Oh my god, it has been too long, okay? I know we got Bleeders last year. I know we did. But that doesn't count. I'm sorry, it does not count. Bleeders, an amazing EP for what it was. Sweeney Todd, amazing musical. But Black Veil Brides, they are finally getting towards releasing a new album. And that is what makes me excited. If it is more things, more little small EPs in between, then fine, I will take it as a win because it's more Black Veil music at the end of the day. I'm not going to complain. It's still good. It's still quality. They still put their fucking hearts into it, as we can tell with Bleeders. But it just makes me excited. It makes me very excited over the fact that we may be getting a new Black Veil album by the end of the year. That's being hopeful. Again, don't quote me on it, but I want to stay hopeful. They're my favorite band of all time, and I think they always will be. New music from them, even just like little whispers of new music being created by them, gets me giddy like a kid on Christmas morning. I'm so excited. Holy shit. Also to mention, if my voice sounds off at all, please bear with me. I did just get back maybe a couple days ago by the time I'm recording this, and it's released. I got back from Edmonton from my Palais Royale show, which I will touch on, not today, but I will touch on it next episode, as this episode has already been booked. I already have plans for what I'm about to talk about, so bear with me. That would probably be why I sound a little bit different or a little funny, a little off. Just was screaming my little emo soul out to Palais Royale and all their songs, so again, I will touch on that next episode. First off, I need to continue on this massive list and again touch on the Grammys. Something else I missed talking about in my last episode was the fact that the Amity Affliction, as everyone that's been listening to me knows, I've been listening to their albums quite a lot lately. Unfortunately, their singer, Aaron Stringer, might have butchered that name. Again, I don't know the people in the band very well. I just know the couple albums that I've been listening to on repeat. And unfortunately, he had been asked to step down to focus on his mental health, which is not an unfortunate thing. Your mental health comes first. But he's struggling. The reason why he's struggling with his mental health is because he struggles with addiction and sobriety. And it's just really sad to see, especially for the fact that the singer there, Aaron, he didn't really seem like he wanted to step back and didn't really seem like he wanted to say that he had a problem, or maybe there's some politics going on behind the scenes that we're just completely unaware of. It's just sad to say that the Amity Affliction might not be a band anymore. They might tour and stuff, but I can't say I know much upon the whole situation other than just the fact that he's been asked to step down because of those reasons. But the fact that I was able to find them and get into them just literally this year, and I know that I've known them for longer than this, but for finally getting into their shit this year, and then this also comes out to happen, makes me a little sad. But honestly, mental health comes first. Goes for when you're in a band. It goes for when you're just working a regular 9 to 5. Regardless, take your mental health seriously. It comes first. Don't put it on the back burner, and don't try to mask it with fucking addiction, because that is a quick spiral down, a very, very fast fall. So take the time you need, and I hope that this singer for Amity Affliction is able to do the same and hopefully come back to the band if that relationship hasn't been severed. Hopefully there is still hope for the Amity Affliction, but I guess we will see. They are scheduled to play shows on shows, especially one that I'm hoping to see this year, the When We Were Young Festival in Vegas come October. They're supposed to be playing, so we'll see how that goes, and if I do end up getting the chance to get to Vegas with the state of the world currently, I'll be sure to share my thoughts on how they sound and what they're doing when the time comes, though we've got a long ways to wait. Next up, Fall Out Boy. Again, these notes, they're going every which way. Fall Out Boy, American Beauty, American Psycho. It turned 10 years old. Like, what? How? Like, okay, I know the concept of time is one that some people can't grasp. I might be one of those people. Usually I'm fine with it, but the fact that American Beauty, American Psycho turned 10 years old, it's just crazy for me to think about. It's an album with so many hidden bangers on it that people just kind of sleep on for no reason. Like, I know it isn't as slept on as Mania, which is their not newest but second newest album. And the fact that American Beauty, American Psycho has as many bangers on it as it does is crazy. That album, I know it might just be me talking, but that album really holds a special place in my heart. And it just has, again, banger upon banger. And the fact that it is 10 years old wows me. But I will have to say, it's not my favorite Fall Out Boy record. It is up there, though. I will give it props, as it does have some of my favorites, being Favorite Record, Jetpack Blues, and 4th of July, just to name a few, of course, but again, the whole album solid throughout. But it is an album that really packs a punch, and it solidified Fall Out Boy as a band that was back, and a band that was back here to stay. As I know, just prior to this, they tried Save Rock and Roll, which was kind of a return to form with a new sound. And this just solidified the fact that they're back. And they deserve to be back. They deserve to stay. They deserve our praise. And American Beauty, American Psycho, that all happened 10 years ago. Absolutely insane to think. And the fact that they've started even longer ago, I feel like I'm just getting old. But that is just me. Also, Valley released some new live tracks from Vivo, the new Vivo live tracks, if you will, from their new album Era, Water the Flowers, Pray for a Garden. A Little More and bass player's brother, I do believe, Two bangers, of course. I do love those songs. It wasn't a huge release, but it is something that exists, and I wanted to touch on it because Valley is one of my favorites. Gotta say, love them. Gotta show the support, of course. And on a much different vibe, Invent Animate and Silent Planet, two metalcore bands, they announced a collab EP and a tour hitting up many places out in the United States. So if y'all Valley, they're definitely softer, way softer. And they've got some shows still going on there. Finishing up their tour, I believe they're hitting up Calgary soon. So anyone in Alberta, in Calgary area, go see them, go show them some love, please. They deserve it. And Invent Animate and Silent Planet. If y'all like the heavy shit, go check out that collab EP, cause wow, it slaps. I must say, it slaps, and I wish that they were touring here in Canada. Unfortunately, we are once again the forgotten child. It's fine. Maybe one day I'll be able to see both of them live. They aren't my favorite bands by any means, but the fact that they have helped each other out and are doing this together is just something that's heartwarming and really shows that, when you come together, you're able to reach bounds that you never really thought. Be able to reach those heights that you never really thought possible. So go give them some support and be a part of the scene. It's a great place to be. Next up, though, Steven Universe. Again, we're going all over the place. The movie, the deluxe soundtrack for the movie of Steven Universe was repressed on vinyl. And as a fan, I just had to mention it because Steven Universe, it means the world to me. It is something that I've loved for years and years. Literally one of the main three things that I used to pride myself on being, which was like music, specifically Black Veil, video games, specifically Kingdom Hearts, and Steven Universe. Literally those three things were my things, and it sucks that one of those three things is completely over. Steven Universe is no longer around, it's no longer a thing being made, it's no longer a show, but it's still out there, it still exists, obviously. It can be bought on DVD as the complete collection, it can be bought digitally, as well as on some Blu-ray sets, but those are more so exclusive to overseas for some reason, not really sure why, but we in North America never got that. Anyways, though, the soundtrack for the movie, deluxe version mind you, was repressed on vinyl as little 10-inch discs to go alongside with Season 1 soundtrack, which I really wish Season 2 got a release. Don't know why that was never pressed, but I digress. Or not even Season 1, mind you. It was like Season 1 Part 1, because it touched on more than just Season 1. I don't know how to explain that, but they were essentially split into two different parts. The show's soundtrack was split into two different parts, and they were able to press the first part, never press the second part, and the second part has some of the best songs on it. So hopefully, with this movie soundtrack being repressed, I know that it might be a little bit delusional, but hopefully the second soundtrack for Steven Universe, the show, is released and pressed on vinyl for the first time, as it hasn't been, because this was a release by I Am 8-Bit, the literal company that just kind of presses a bunch of things that you wouldn't really realize. Like, they have Gravity Falls records, they have, I think, even Persona records. They're all over the place. They have a bunch of nerdy and niche kind of vinyls and collectibles on their website. If you've never heard about them, go check them out. It's I Am 8-Bit. No sponsorship at all. I just figured I'd shout them out because they're obviously promoting Steven Universe and more of Rebecca Sugar's stuff. And I think also they have the vinyl for Bee and Puppy Cat, which is also a show that is near and dear to my heart. Love that show too. So all the nerdy kind of niche stuff, they've got it, at least a good chunk of it, so go check them out. You won't be disappointed. It's just some of it can be a little bit expensive, a little pricey, but if you buy it from their website, it is probably the cheapest you're going to get it because scalpers suck. Anyways, another thing to touch on top of that is Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3, the one that everyone was waiting for however fucking many years. I remember it being announced 2013, came out 2019. It is 6 years old. It was released 6 years ago. What? Wow. Wow. Like, I know that's something that just affects me because I adore Kingdom Hearts and it is one of my favorite things in the world. I just can't believe that that is actually that old. Anyways, The Sims also, they released a 25-year legacy collection, which includes the first and second game with all the DLCs and expansions for PC. And of course, it was released glitchy and a buggy mess. Not surprised there, but they are working on fixing it, and I just had to mention it because I grew up with The Sims. My dad showed it to me. I grew up with it more so on console than PC, but all the same, I was still able to be there. I was still able to play it. It is a series that I look back on with quite a bit of fondness, even if it isn't a series I play so much nowadays. It is a collection that I am looking to buy myself. I just am going to wait, and I kind of hope everyone else does wait at least a little bit until they fix the bugs, iron it out a little bit, and it isn't such a mess. So, wanted to mention that. Also, Terrifier 4. Yes, Terrifier 4. Not 3, not 2, not 1. Number 4 does not exist yet, but it was given some time of day, the creator himself on his birthday, as a gift back to us. He wanted to let us know that the upcoming installment will be a quote-unquote epic, thrilling, nasty, horrifying, emotional, and utterly satisfying conclusion. P.S. I will finally reveal Art's origin. Unquote. Ooh. Ooh. So it looks like it's gearing up to be the final movie, with more lore, of course, and also probably some of the biggest lore that we could have ever hoped for, being Art's origins. Art the clown, the maniacal man. Is he a man? What is he? Where did he come from? Who is Art? That is what's going to be revealed in Terrifier 4, probably amongst a lot more shit, because wow, Terrifier 3, I'm not going to go into spoilers because I do know there are people that I personally know that have not watched it yet. Get your ass on it, please, because holy fuck, it is good. Terrifier 4, I'm very excited, as you guys can probably tell. Cannot fucking wait. Might be a long wait, but I cannot wait. It's going to be so worth it. Give it to me, please. Anyways, Hot Milk. They are a band from the UK. Album 2 is finished, they said. And it's very exciting to see where they'll go, because they are a band that not are super huge. They're not super huge at all, at least not over here. But across the pond, if you will, they are quite big. They're a decent-sized band that are catching on. Their second album is finished. Their first album was very good. If you haven't heard of Hot Milk and you think I'm just talking about a drink that I warmed up in the microwave, no, it is a band. Go listen to them. You won't be disappointed. I would recommend the most Breathing Underwater from their new album, or my favorite song of theirs, Glass Spiders. Go give those a listen, please. You won't regret it. Also, gonna jump on over to hockey for a quick moment. Team Canada. They announced their captain for the upcoming Four Nations hockey tournament, which is Sidney Crosby. Holy shit, Captain Canada is back. Obviously, Sidney Crosby, the giver of the golden goal back in 2010 for the Olympics, of course. He is back as Captain Canada, as he should be. The only downside is recently he got injured. So it's still a day-by-day thing, but odds are they're going to still use him, kind of have it game-by-game basis. Whether or not he plays, he is still going to be the face for Team Canada, for he is the captain. And maybe down the line, he will eventually pass the torch on to Connor McDavid of Edmonton Oilers. And that would be really cool for me. I'm a huge fan of the Edmonton Oilers, and I would really love to see McDavid wear the C. Not yet, because again, he hasn't gotten the torch passed down to him. But I believe that this tournament might be the tournament to do so. In any sense, though, McDavid and Cale Makar are the assistant captains for the Four Nations tournament, and it all starts on February 12th. So anyone that loves hockey, NHL's going to be put on a pause for this, so watch it. Support your fucking favorite team, your country, if you will. There are only 4 countries being represented, being USA, Finland, Canada, and Sweden, so not a whole lot of representation, but it is still something. And it's a best on best tournament for a few of the players, at least in the league. And I'm pretty excited to see what goes on. It starts February 12th, Canada versus Sweden. Be there, be square. Is that something people still say anymore? I don't fucking know. Anyways, next up is As It Is. They have a new album coming out April 18th as well, to coincide with not only Mayday Parade's Sweet EP, but also my birthday. April 18th, it's going to be a crazy day. It's going to be a solid fucking day. There's going to be some good releases coming out. Hopefully, I am being hopeful. But, I mean, last year I got the Tortured Poets Department released on my birthday. So, realistically, like, could it be any better than that? Who the fuck knows? I'm hoping, though, that both Mayday Parade and As It Is, as those are the only ones I know of currently releasing April 18th, I hope they both slap, and they're albums to keep an eye out for. Also, Nirvana. Yes, Nirvana. They reunited at the Fire Aid benefit concert with guest vocalists coming in to sing, and it's just an iconic moment that I figured I had to share. Really, go look up some clips online because it's very necessary to see as a music fan, especially as a fan of Nirvana, because they've been gone forever, as Kurt Cobain is no longer with us, rest in peace. Hasn't been for a very long time, obviously, but they brought them back for the Fire Aid benefit concert to LA, and I really couldn't think of a better place to bring them back for. It's a really monumental moment, and it was for a good cause. Very happy to see it. On top of all of that, Taylor Swift, her, I guess I could say Netflix documentary, Netflix movie, if you will, Miss Americana, it turned 5 years old this year. Crazy to think that it has been that long since that has come out, and that long since not only Miss Americana, but 5 years ago was 2020. The pandemic years. It's been 5 years. We're getting places. Whether or not the state of the world is in any better of a state, can't really say much upon that, but here we are. We're out here. We live in. Anyways, Final Destination, a movie franchise that I watched every single film of, starting with the first one I watched with my buddy Paul, watched the rest of them with my friend Crystal, and wow, a great series, one that I personally love. It might make me sound like a little bit of a psychopath, but I swear for like a month I was watching the very beginning of Final Destination 2 on, I want to say repeat, but it wasn't like I had the beginning on repeat. I just, every single night for like a month, I would put on Final Destination 2 and only get through the very beginning right up to when they crashed with the log truck. If you don't know, go look up a clip of it because it's iconic. I watched up to that point and then fell asleep. I don't know if that makes me sound like a psychopath. It kind of makes me feel like one, but I digress. Final Destination, there's a new movie coming out. The new movie being Bloodlines, coming out May 16th. And the trailer was shown. We got a first look, we got a trailer, and it opens up with the exact same vibes that the original movies gave, which I gotta say, it has the cheesiness, it has the unsettled kind of feeling it gives you, but while also still being cheesy. Like, it plays upon itself, and the vibe is immaculate. It fits the vibe of the old movies. I am so excited to see this new film. The trailer is definitely something like, ooh, go give it a watch if you haven't. And everyone that goes to watch it, if you have a septum piercing, all I will say is I'm sorry. Anyways, Courtney from Spirit Box. She was mistaken for Poppy at the Grammys this year. It's something that I kind of wanted to touch on because the scene has been making memes upon memes upon memes, even so much so that Spotify, granted, I don't know if this was a meme somebody made, maybe Spotify didn't actually do this, but I seen it on Twitter, so I'm going to say it. Spotify put Courtney from Spirit Box on the cover art for one of the playlists that Spotify makes and said said Poppy is here. So they're in on the joke too, because one of the ladies, when they were getting interviewed, when Courtney was up there, they're like, yeah, you're Poppy, and she just completely ran with it. It was funny. I thought it was funny, at least. I'm probably butchering it, but if y'all know, y'all know. It was something that I had to touch on because it is just a wholesome moment that kind of makes you sad that nobody recognizes these bands as more than just, you know, what they are. Like, it's hard to explain because obviously the mainstream isn't going to get us. They're not going to understand Spirit Box. They're not going to see the difference from Spirit Box to Poppy. But then it goes also on the other end of the spectrum where some of us might not see a difference between artists such as like Billie Eilish and Chappelle Roan, or you know what I mean, Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift. Like, it might just all kind of sound the same, blend into each other. Like, yes, they are iconic people, but I hope my point is coming across. Also, we have gotten the Fantastic Four trailer for First Steps. The new trailer for Fantastic Four. Wow, am I ever excited for it. Marvel, they're finally getting back on pace. They're finally getting back on track. It's exciting, man. I am very excited because I grew up loving Fantastic Four. Be it some of the comic books, not all of them, but I remember having a few, as well as Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, the big video game for the PS2, Xbox, and probably PS3, Xbox 360. I'm not sure how many consoles that game was released on, but Ultimate Alliance, anyone remember it? It's an Activision game. Ramble, ramble, ramble. It's a good game, though. The story follows Doctor Doom as the big bad guy. Obviously, whenever Doctor Doom is involved, sometimes Fantastic Four is, and then Galactus. Obviously, things that are all just very exciting, things that grew me into who I am as a comic book fan. Fantastic Four has always been there, from that video game to the movie. Seeing both of the original movies, I say original, but 2000 era movies. Seeing both of those in theaters growing up, classics, obviously. They're very kind of cringy and of their time, but in the best way. I love them. I adore them. So good. This new Fantastic Four trailer really gets me excited because it looks far, far better than anything the 2015 reboot of Fantastic Four could have hoped to be. And I'm hopeful because they show a little scene of Galactus, back of his head, mind you, but he is one of my favorite characters just from his pure intimidation. And I used to have a little action figure that, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I'm going to try to explain it. You could buy action figure, and you buy like 5 of them, and they all come with little pieces to make a giant action figure, and I got all 5 to make the giant action figure of Galactus. I still have him, and he is legendary. I love the fuck out of Galactus. He is so intimidating, so cool. I'm so excited for the new Fantastic Four movie in hopes that they do him justice. And if they don't do him justice in that movie, then they better follow it up with an Avengers movie that is all about kicking Galactus's fucking shiny metal ass. Anyways, Sleep Theory. They have a new album coming out as well called Afterglow, coming May 16th. They are a band that is on the rock spectrum. I can't really touch much on them. They're a band I don't know much about, but they are one that I have heard at least their I can't even say lead single, their first single they ever dropped. They're a pretty good band, from what I can remember. Go give them a shot if you will. Also, Not Like Us, the song from Kendrick Lamar that I'm hoping he performs at the Super Bowl tonight, and the one that he won a bunch of Grammys for, which I'll get into, has the right tempo for hands-only CPR at 101 beats per minute, which is hilarious that a song that ended one man and his entire career can also save another's life. I thought that was hilarious and something I had to share. Also, something that was very surprising to me, Coraline, the movie, is 16 years old. Fuck, I'm old. That makes me sad. It makes me want to cry just a little bit out of pure sadness that I'm so fucking old. I know I shouldn't say that because, again, a lot of people that are 25 are probably just wanting to punch me right in the face for saying it, or people that are older even more so. That just makes me feel ancient. I'm sorry, Coraline is a movie I love. I remember when it came out. Crazy that it's 16 years old. Next up, though, we've got Hayley Williams. She performed All Is Full of Love by Bjork, Daylight by Failure, and That's What You Get by Paramore at the Give a Fuck LA benefit event. She is an absolute legend. I have to say that right now. She is one of the legends of the scene, of the music scene, not even just the scene of emos or anything. Like, she is a legend. She has such a powerful voice. She is Hayley fucking Williams. Amazing that she was able to come out there and perform by herself. And also, she's been featured on a new track by Night Party, a band that I didn't even know of. But I got tipped on the song, great song by the way, called Confessions. She was featured on it. Go give it a listen. Hayley Williams, you are a legend. I fucking adore you. Cannot wait to hopefully one day see her live again, and cannot wait for what Paramore, or even her just on her own, has next in store. On top of all that, though, Eminence, they are a very heavy metal band, metalcore adjacent. They released a new song called Death Shall Have No Dominion. And Spirit Box, back to them. They released a new song called No Loss, No Love. And that one, for sure, I can't touch on Eminence's new song, but Spirit Box's is going to be on their new album called Tsunami Sea. Very exciting. It is heavy as fuck. Like, absolutely heavy as all hell. Crazy. If you want to listen to it, go give it a listen. That album comes out March 7th to coincide with Miss Lady Gaga and her album Mayhem. Both coming out March 7th, and I believe Lady Gaga I'm going to touch on here in but a moment when I get to the Grammys, so please bear with me because wow, her new music fucking slaps. Also, Taylor Swift. She's releasing Fortnite 7-inch vinyl for an upcoming Record Store Day, April 12th. She usually releases something for Record Store Day, not every year, but this year she's doing it again. It is a little tiny 7-inch white vinyl. It is going to have Fortnite, the normal version of it, and the Blondish remix on the other side of it. Something for all the Swifties out there and Post Malone fans to keep an eye out for, because I know I'm going to be trying my ass off to get that for myself. Also, Nothing More. They are set to release a deluxe version of the album Carnal, coming out March 28th, which we have heard one new song of, called We're All Gonna Die. It's the first new single shown from their deluxe version of the album. I have not listened to it, so I can't really say much more upon that, but I have heard Carnal, the bass album, and it is one that I would recommend to fans of rock and roll, especially fans of Nothing More. If you haven't heard it, what are you doing? Anyways, Lights. They are another band, a Canadian artist. They announced A6, which is their new album, drops May 2nd. A little ways away, but it is album 6, which is why it's called A6. She actually went on to say that A6 is exactly what it says it is. Album 6. In this landscape, I realize it's a flex to make it this far doing what you love, not just in this industry, but in life. And that's what she said about the album. It's very exciting to see that Lights is still around, that Lights is still making music, because they are a band that I remember from quite a long while ago, and ones that I kind of grew up with. I don't know a lot of Lights, but for what I do know, they fucking slap. Also, Arcane, just to touch on that for one last time this year, they won 7 Annie Awards, which is awesome. They are finally getting some more recognition, as they kind of got a little bit cucked here and there throughout the different award shows. I'm glad that they at least won 7 Annie Awards. On top of all of that, though, Brendan Urie has returned to the stage for the first time since Panic at the Disco announced their indefinite hiatus. He performed at the I Love LA Eaton Fire Relief show last night. Brendan Urie's back. He's back! Brendan Urie, I stan a legend. He is back. I'm so excited because it makes me more excited for the fact Panic at the Disco's returning. I know it's not Panic at the Disco for all you purists out there, but for me, Brendan Urie is someone I just adore. I can't help it. I know that there is allegations about him. I don't want to listen to it. I don't believe it. If you have proof, fucking show it to me, I guess. Try to change my mind, but I love Brendan Urie. He is a legend and somebody I will always just adore, unless if proven wrong. And I'm excited. I'm excited that he's finally back. He's wanting to be shown again. I think people maybe are starting to miss him a little bit, and I know I am. I've been a fan of his for a very long time, and of Panic at the Disco. So just seeing that he returned to stage, even for something like this, makes me excited. It makes me happy to know that he's still okay. And I really hope that him and his wife are figuring things out with having a new kid. And I don't know if the kid's like born yet, but just excited for them. And I'm glad that he's back. It makes me very excited, obviously. So in saying all of that, rambling on for well over 30 minutes, the Super Bowl, it is tonight. The Eagles versus the Chiefs. So after I'm done recording this and editing all of it, I'm going to go watch that. But I just can't wait to see Kendrick's halftime performance. I really want to know if he's going to perform Not Like Us, because odds are he will. And Drake is going to have the entire Super Bowl stadium singing it back to him, because the stadium's going to know all the words. Yeah, Drake's probably not going to be there, but you bet your ass he's going to be watching. Because why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? You know that he's going to be watching. And Kendrick, you are a legend. Keep on making the music you do. Keep on pushing to new heights. Just keep on being you, man. And I cannot fucking wait to see this performance and what it's gonna bring. Also, the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, on top of the halftime performance, who's gonna win? Are the Chiefs gonna make it 3 times in a row, 3 Super Bowls in a row, or is the Eagles? Is it time for the Eagles to take the championship? Who knows? Nobody does. We will find out. By the time you're listening, you'll know, because it's going to be Monday by the time this is out. But it is something I'm excited to go watch, so let me go watch that. But first, to finish this episode and move on to the actual core of what I wanted to talk about, being the Grammys. Now, the Grammys, it happened last Monday, about a week ago from when you're listening. And it opened with Trevor Noah. He was the actual announcer, the showman, if you will. And he talked about the LA fires, which was all very heartwarming, celebrating both the city and the music. It was nice to see how much love that the firefighters and the fact that the people just, not only the firefighters, but the people affected by the fires, were getting so much respect, so much shout outs, so much love just poured right into them. And the fact that I think more times than I could honestly count, Trevor Noah kind of, I don't want to say bullied, but pressured a little bit people to actually donate, to put their money where their mouth is and donate to this cause that is honestly a travesty and something that's very tragic. I can't believe that so many people lost their homes, and I know that it happens across the world for different natural disasters. My heart goes out to all of you that is affected by the LA fires, that is affected by any other natural disaster. It is awful, whichever way you look at it. And the fact that they were able to do at least a little bit of something during the Grammys makes me happy. It's just nice to see. But anyways, I will kind of touch on all of these points because I just have them written down as points. So sorry if this is a little bit scattered. This episode is already a little bit longer than I thought it would be, so please bear with me. Next, it goes into Dawn's. They're a local act. They open with Brad Paisley, John Legend, Sheryl Crow, and a couple other artists, which was just a love letter to the firefighters and civilians that are affected. It had videos playing behind them of recent events and the whole firefighter situation. Just travesty. Again, absolute travesty. They were showing it though, and just trying to make people feel, trying to show people that you're not alone. We're here together for this night, and we're not going to just try to pretend none of this is happening. We want to help, and we're going to do all we can by bringing a voice to this. And that's what I have to say was, again, probably the best part of the Grammys. Anyways, I will have to say as well, Bruno Mars was there amongst many other celebrities. They just showed him close up, so I wrote that down. And while they were going through the crowd, the cameraman was bumped, but after the bump, we got to see the majestic, the wonderful, the beautiful Taylor Swift. Wow, was she ever killer that night. Her red dress, sparkling red dress, with a little T on her thigh. A little initial, if you will, the T initial for odds are fucking Travis Kelce. And to touch on her song, Guilty as Sin, it all fit. It was so fitting. She was gorgeous. My God. But yeah, she was sitting there with the Wicked actress, the one that played the Wicked Witch. Don't know her name off the top of my head. I think I have it written down here, but they were sitting together and chatting and just having a good time. Also, I will have to say, one of my predictions at least was hoping that Beyonce doesn't win, because I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan. Sorry for all the Beehive, Bee Queen lovers out there. I don't even know what your fan base is called. Sorry for my ignorance. I still show respect. It's just I don't really care for her. Never have. No beef started. Please believe me, I'm trying to be respectful. In any sense, though, Trevor Noah, he made a joke saying that maple syrup is going to be $50. I just wanted to touch on that because of the whole tariff thing. I know I haven't really been super political on this podcast because I try to stay away from it. But it is the state of the world right now, and it just is what it is. It's unfortunate that that might be a reality. I know that that the saying maple syrup is going to be $50 is playing on it a little bit, but it is somewhat a reality. Also, Lady Gaga, she's there. She is there and ready to fucking win and crush some things. Again, foreshadowing. Anyways, the biggest tour in history goes out to fucking Taylor Swift. The Eras Tour. My God. I can't believe that the Eras Tour was able to reach as many places as it did, get as much fucking love as it had, and be as big as it was. Like, that's insane. One of the biggest, no, not one of, the biggest tour in history. Also, Trump jokes. They were flying. They were every which way. It might be the last time I get to host one of these in this country, is what Trevor Noah even said. It was hilarious. I love that they were making fun of Trump. I think that it is a way to cope. Comedy is a good way of coping alongside music, obviously. Just made me happy to see that not everyone is happy with the fact that Trump is doing what he's doing, and that's in their own country. So, again, not going to touch too much on it, but just wanted to say that anyways. He also called out the CEOs, Trevor Noah did, the CEOs, the companies, the contractors, everyone, to donate to the fire relief and put your money where your fucking mouth is. Give these people some help. And it was lovely to see. Next up was Billie Eilish, though. She was the performer up next, and she played Birds of a Feather. I'll have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of that song. I think the new album Billie released was good, but obviously not my favorite. I think she has released better albums in her past, but that is just me. Don't worry, put your pitchforks down, it's fine. Next up was Taylor Swift. She was dancing. She's so fucking cute. I had to mention it. Sparkly red dress, having the time of her life. And she wasn't dancing just for Billie Eilish. She danced throughout the whole show. She danced for every artist that was playing, and especially when my boy Kendrick won his Grammy, she was dancing. And he won it against her. Like, so good. So good. She was dancing away and cheersing him and, like, raising her glass. There's a picture perfectly taken behind her, glass risen up high, just for the fact that Kendrick won. It was beautiful. Anyways, we also got to see Gracie Abrams. She didn't win nothing for my knowledge, neither did Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish, but Gracie Abrams was there. A little bit of a questionable outfit, but she was still gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. She had like a wedding veil on, which honestly, wow. Like I said it was a little bit questionable at first, but then we got to see some other angles. Oh, wow. That's all I'll say about that is wow. She is a pretty, pretty, pretty woman. Anyways, they also gave airtime to local businesses hit hardest by the fires, which was an absolutely respectable move. So happy they were able to give some smaller businesses a voice and local businesses that have been affected and impacted the most by these fires that have been going on. They finally got some respect and some well needed traffic to hopefully stop their businesses from going under. Next up was Sabrina Carpenter, though, with Espresso. It kind of had a classical twist to it, which I didn't really fully understand at first, but it had a classical twist and a tap dancing number into Please, 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 which I personally am not the biggest fan of Sabrina Carpenter. Can't say that anything's wrong with her. I just don't know her music. I don't really care to know it either, but all the same, respect to those that are fans of her. She has made strides and bounds this era. Next up, Cardi B. She presents the best rap album of this year. Also, it pans to Will Smith because he's there for some reason, which I didn't realize until later he actually had a time to talk on stage, which was kind of weird. I don't know why they're really supporting Will Smith after the big slap, but apparently he's back with some music, so guess we'll have to see where his career goes from here. Anyways, Cardi B, she presented the best rap album, and that went to Doechii. Who? Please, who's Doechii? That's how I thought. That's how I felt, rather. Because she beat out big names. She beat out Metro Boomin and Future. She beat out Eminem. She beat out J. Cole, I do believe. Crazy. Crazy that Doechii, she's a brand new artist. She actually was also nominated for Artist of the Year. New Artist of the Year, rather. Crazy to say that she won with her album. Not saying it's a bad album. I haven't heard it. But she did perform afterwards for the New Artists of the Year. Fucking respect. Props to her. She can rap like the legends. Like old legends like Biggie or fucking Pac. Like she has that vibe. She has that swagger. She obviously, I don't know the album, but from that performance alone, warranted, deserved. I don't know if I can really say like she should have won it over everyone else, but yeah, she can pull her own weight. Extremely impressed. Anyways, I have to say before I like move on, Jaden Smith, why were you wearing a castle on your head? What, buddy? What, are you okay? Are you fine? I know that he's always been kind of weird, but I mean, anyone with the dad of Will Smith, or anyone that has their dad being Will Smith, mind you, yeah, I get it, but for why? Why were you wearing a castle on your face? Your whole face was a castle, man. If you need help, reach out, please. Fuck. Anyways, Doechii, she really got me with her speech about being who you are because that's who you need to be. Like, she was just reaffirming people that you don't need to question who you are. You don't need to change who you are. You are who you are because that's just who you are supposed to be. And it is just something that resonated with me and touched me exactly where I needed it to, more than I even thought it could have. Also, Trevor Noah, he was traded out for some other comedian, who then announced Chili Peppers to come out on stage, which the Chili Peppers, they came out to talk about the fires and announce the winner of Best Pop Vocal Album. And that Best Pop Vocal Album went to Sabrina Carpenter. Fucking wow. The fact that she won that, so impressive. As I just mentioned, she has come leaps and bounds from where she started just this year alone. I mean, 2024, mind you, but still, this year, essentially. Crazy. Crazy she was able to win that. She deserved it. I must say, again, I don't listen to her much, but deserved, even if I wish Taylor Swift would have won, because I am a Swiftie through and through. Sabrina Carpenter, props to you, cheers to you, congratulations. Taylor herself, she looked very shocked and also very happy, as, Sabrina Carpenter is her friend. They went on tour together for a long while, and she just showed all of her respect. So honestly, respect to Sabrina Carpenter, respect to Taylor Swift for giving Sabrina Carpenter said respect herself. Hell yeah. Love seeing artists support other artists. It is always so nice and so necessary. I wish it happened more. Next up, though, is Billie Eilish getting respect at the Grammys from Trevor Noah. He threw her some respect because she wasn't winning anything. But all the same, Billie Eilish, congrats. Congrats. I know you didn't win, but congrats on just releasing the album you released this year. It was one that I liked. I can't say I loved it, as I said earlier, but still, props to you. Next up was Olivia Rodrigo to bring in Chappelle Roan. Chappelle Roan, she performed, and apparently they're friends, Olivia Rodrigo and her. It was crazy to see, because wow, Olivia Rodrigo, her outfit, ho. She looked good. She looked absolutely killer. And Chappelle Roan, she performed Pink Pony Club with a lot of rodeo clowns and a big pink pony on the middle of the stage. It was a very powerful performance about just being yourself and not worrying about everything else. Obviously, Pink Pony Club, it is a good song. I don't know Chappelle Roan very much, but the fact that she was there and performed that and everyone kind of went crazy for her, and the fact that she won something later on in the show makes me really want to listen to some of her music. I feel like I'm sleeping on something that I shouldn't be. Anyways, Taylor Swift was up next on stage to present the Best Country Album of the Year. And 15 years ago, she accepted her award for Best Album of the Year, Best Country Album of the Year, being Fearless. And 15 years later, she's able to present the Best Country Album, which went to Beyonce, unfortunately. Granted, I say that not because I don't like Beyonce, but more so just for the fact that there had to have been better albums in that list, right? And it just kind of makes me question it a little bit that, Jay-Z is there and everything, and with all of the, not to get too conspiracy heavy, but with all of the Diddy stuff going on and the fact that Jay-Z is known to be very close with Diddy, it just makes me curious. I have so much curiosity to know if any of it was rigged, if anything was paid for. Again, not saying that's the case, just pure curiosity, but I don't want to get fucking hunted down myself, so that's where I'll leave it. Again, jokes all around. Anyways, I just was surprised because, again, the question rises that was her album really country? And who is one to say that country is supposed to sound like the way it does? It's interesting to kind of see people's take on it, but she was thanking God a lot for her winning. It was very, very interesting. Anyways, next up was Best New Artist nominee. The artist that played was the first one. It was a name that I can't even begin to pronounce, so I'm not going to try. But after that, it went on to Benson Boone performing Beautiful Things in the crowd. He ripped off his suit to be wearing a blue costume, very tight spandex. He does a flip off a piano and another one off the ground. He grabbed his junk, rearranged it really violently, and had to apologize for it later, which was hilarious. I had to mention that. Which then went into Doechie's performance, which was wow. Absolutely fucking wow. She goes off and raps just like the old boys, as I mentioned. Next up, Teddy Swims with Lose Control. He's got a grill apparently in his face. I don't really know the man. I don't super like him. Crystal, I know you do, and Reese, I know you kind of like him too. They are, well, he rather is alright. I don't think I'm a huge fan, but to those of you that like him, props to you. After him, though, was Shabuzi performing Bar Song, which was, again, not really my vibe, but it was alright. Definitely not anything super impressive, but it was alright. Next up was Ray. She has a wicked powerful voice with a classical accent, very much like scatting on him. Wow, can she ever perform? The vocal control, the powerful voice, it's no joke. If you hadn't seen that performance, if you don't even know who she is, it's spelled Raye. Go give her shit a listen. I haven't myself, but even if you just look up Ray 2025 Grammy performance, you'll understand what I mean. Wow. She has power. Anyways, who will win the next best artist? The new best artist. That whole award, all of them were able to perform. The new best artist award presented by Victoria Monet, it went to none other than Chappelle Roan. And respect to her. I really need to check out her album, as I mentioned. I loved her costume that she was wearing when she went up to accept the award. The hat that she had on, very, very much like a tall, fucking pointy cap. Kind of made her look like a princess. And I think that was kind of the vibe she was going for with the fact that her album is what it is. Respect to her. Absolute respect. She was actually reading her speech out of her diary, which was like a book with a lock on it. Very, very much vibey, very cute, very good. She demanded, though, that equal pay must be given to artists, equality, healthcare for musicians paid as employees, and calls out the labels. She went on to say, I told myself if I ever won a Grammy, and I got to stand up here in front of the most powerful people in music, I would demand that labels and the industry profiting millions of dollars off artists would offer a livable wage and health care, especially to developing artists. Labels, we got you, but do you got us? And that, oh my god, fucking respect Chappelle Roan. Yes, the artists, they need something. Because artists, it's hard to be a struggling artist. You hear it all the time that it's always a struggle. And the fact that she finally wanted to speak out for everyone in the community, if you will, all of the artists out there, the ones that do struggle, for a voice, respect to her. Then it goes into a commercial showing the fires, which then transitions into Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga singing their song together, which is what I thought initially, but it actually wasn't. It was them singing a cover of California Dreamin', which, wow, that was impressive. But next, after that, after their amazing performance, very heartwarming, Harvey Mason Jr., the big man in the Recording Academy, he came out to say thank you, and that he wanted to make some changes, that he has made some changes to better the Recording Academy, and by doing that, he was changing things, opening doors, adding many people of all ages, races, and sexes. As he said, every voice matters, which then he announced somebody that actually was boycotting the Grammys just last year or the year before, probably both. He was able to announce The Weeknd to perform, which was a complete surprise. Nobody expected it, but The Weeknd was up there performing his new song with Playboi Carti, and I must say, I'm not a huge fan, but props to him, as I know a lot of people absolutely adore The Weeknd. After The Weeknd performed, Taylor Swift clapped for him, and Trevor Noah made a joke about him not being the same person. Then Abracadabra from Lady Gaga's new album, Mayhem. It premiered during the commercials. What the fuck? Like, I know I was watching the Canadian broadcast, maybe that's why I didn't get to see it, but apparently it was announced via commercials, as I learned from Twitter during the show, for her new album. Which, again, I know I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to touch on it more here. Her new album called Mayhem, which got announced maybe days or weeks prior, it drops March 7th. The singles, absolute bangers. Disease came out a while back, and also the one that is with Bruno Mars, Die With A Smile. That one also came out a while back, but it is on the album. And the new Abracadabra song, the newest single for the album. Whoo, boy. I have never listened to Lady Gaga. I've never listened to any of her albums through and through. But this one, wow, am I ever excited for it. The vibe of the songs and the fact that Lady Gaga is standing up for what matters, as I will get to here in a moment. So excited for her new music. So excited for everything to do. Like, Lady Gaga, whatever you got fucking cooking, give it to me. I'm ready. March 7th couldn't come sooner for both her and Spirit Box. I'm hyped. Anyways, the best Latin pop album announced by Jennifer Lopez. That award goes to none other than the legend herself, Shakira. Shakira! She deserved it, and I honestly, as soon as I seen she was nominated and there, I kind of guessed it, and sure enough, she won. And she gives the award away, like she still keeps it, but she gives it in her speech to the immigrants of the country. The fact that she'll always fight for them and for the women of the country. With the state of the world, props to her. Thank you for giving the immigrants and the women a voice. Shakira, you're a legend. Then Will Smith, he gives respect to Quincy Jones, announces Cynthia Erivo, might have butchered that, but that is the girl from Wicked, to sing the song Fly Me to the Moon. She has a wicked good voice, though, and then she also introduced Lainey Wilson to continue on the song, and she then introduces Stevie Wonder. It's all just a celebration of the life of Quincy Jones as he passed, and they're able to celebrate it with love from We Are the World, We Are the Children. That song, I don't know if that's the name of the song, but it also has the LA Choir in it. It's such a good song. It's one that a bunch of artists in the past would collab on, and it's honestly one that we need. We need it in today's day and age. It's mad respect to everyone that was involved in that. And then it went back to Will Smith. And he talks about some memories from Fresh Prince and Quincy Jones being involved and just everything around it. Huge respect to not only losing Quincy Jones, but everyone else that we have lost in the past year amongst the music industry. It's so sad. And I really love that they give these people the time of day to show their respect and actually show the proper respect that they deserve, because they're all, whether or not they're huge or small, they're artists at the end of the day, and they helped build what is today. And the fact that the Grammys exist to celebrate said artists, yeah, it is huge respect, mad respect. Very happy that things like that are done. Very happy. Next up, he announces Janelle Monáe to sing as an MJ lookalike, and they start with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Very good song. She did it justice to some extent. In any sense, though, she had an I Heart QJ shirt on. And SZA, she comes out next to announce the winner of the Best Pop Duo Group Performance. And that award, that Grammy, goes to Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars for Die With a Smile. So rip Taylor Swift and Gracie Abrams, as they were a nomination for their song Us that they did together. But obviously, as sad as I am that they didn't win, respect to legends of the game. Both Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, they're both legends. The fact that they won, absolutely mad respect. And even more so, Lady Gaga, respect to you. You gave the absolute best speech of the Grammys, and I will die on that hill. One that resonated with me the most, at least. And she gets very emotional and stands up for the trans people and saying that music is love. Like, fuck yes, Lady Gaga. She went on to say in her speech that trans people are not invisible. Trans people deserve love. The queer community deserves to be lifted up. Music is love. Thank you. Like, I know that it's very simple, very straightforward, but that's the point. It is very simple. It is very straightforward. Why can we not understand this as people, as a community? It just made me really happy to hear that from her mouth, from her lips. The fact that she went on stage and said all that to speak up against what's going on in their country right now and kind of across the world, it makes me happy, and absolutely mad respect to you, Lady Gaga. I cannot wait to see what you're cooking up. Also, in a post in the following days, Lady Gaga said, "My 14th Grammy Award is a very special one. Being a songwriter, all I want to do is tell stories that touch people's hearts. Telling this story with Bruno about love is truly a piece of my soul. Love is what we all need right now. Thank you, little monsters. Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow." And that that right there, on top of what she said during the Grammys, mad respect, Lady Gaga. Thank you. Anyways, I'm almost towards the end here. Again, long ass episode, but thanks for bearing with me. Next up, after Lady Gaga's acceptance and Bruno Mars, of course, Chris Martin started with a Liam Payne tribute, which then eventually paid respects to everyone that we lost. And again, I want to shout out rest in peace to all of them out there. And I honestly forgot that we lost Toby Keith this year. And he's somebody that really stood out to me as an artist that I grew up with, as I grew up listening to country music a lot. And it made me sad, but also reminiscent. And I'm glad that they were able to get the respect that they so deserve. Rest in peace to all the artists out there that we have lost and are currently continuing to lose. Rest in peace. Respect to you all. And thank you for giving us a taste of what your music is, giving us an insight onto who you are, and an insight into your art that you brought to the world. Next up after that was Record of the Year presented by Miley Cyrus. Respect to her. She's a legend herself. And the award goes to Kendrick Lamar with Not Like Us. Fuck yes. Taylor dancing, fuck yes. The whole thing as the background music, like literally the A minor, like that, the whole thing, man, as he was walking up to the stage was playing and everyone at the Grammys was singing along. Singing along, dancing along, it was insane. It was absolutely a fever dream. And the fact that it happened and he won is so good. And he accepted the award in what fucking else but denim on denim, baby. The Canadian tuxedo. Fuck yes. And he dedicated it to Compton, to LA, everything that's going on in there. Absolute respect to him. And the fact that he was able to win that award, absolutely goated. Next on was Gloria Estefan presenting Shakira to perform. She put on a crazy performance. Wow, Shakira can fucking rap. Hello? That was not on my bingo card. I don't know Shakira much. I don't listen to all of her stuff, but Laundry Service, that album slaps. It's one that I grew up with in my little car seat, singing along to it, word for word with my mom. The fact that she can rap blew me out of the water. I did not expect that at all. And then Taylor Swift was shown with Dr. Dre. Just a little kind of moment that I wanted to shout out and say, please give us a collab. I know it's so unlikely, but Reputation Taylor's version is a thing that will come out eventually. What better place than that to have a Dr. Dre or Eminem collab? Make it happen. Come on, please. I know I'm delusional, but please. Next up, though, was Dr. Dre Impact Award, given by Queen Latifah, and it went out to Alicia Keys, also a legend of the game. Shout out to Dr. Dre, and a heartfelt shout out to women and diversity. DEI is not a threat, it's a gift. Music is a soul care. It is literal soul care. Be just like you and who you're supposed to be. I know I'm butchering that, but that's kind of what she said during her acceptance speech, and I must say, respect to you, Alicia Keys. Presenting the Grammy for Song of the Year by Diana Ross, the award for Song of the Year, it goes to, fingers crossed for Kendrick or Taylor, it went to Kendrick again. Fuck yes. He gets a sweep. That's 5 Grammys, which matches how many Drake has his entire career. Get fucked. Absolutely insane. I am so happy that Kendrick was able to win. Rest in peace, Taylor Swift and the Tortured Poets Department. Unfortunate that they didn't get the respect that they deserved. Alongside, of course, Billie Eilish. I know she didn't win. Gracie Abrams, she didn't win. Many artists, Eminem, he didn't win. But Kendrick won. He won all 5. And I can't really be that upset about it. Because, as I said, I was hoping for that fact. Even Eminem said that Kendrick was going to sweep, and he was fucking right. So happy. Next up was Charlie XCX. She played her songs from Brat next. I totally get it, though. I never listened to Brat much, but I understand that it is just obnoxious and loud and in your face. That is the vibe. That is why people love it. I finally understand. I'm not a huge fan, but each to their own. Completely each to their own. I get ya. I get ya. Next up was LA Fire Department. They announced Album of the Year and shouted out everyone about the support. And the award winner for Album of the Year, even though I was wishing it to be Taylor, it unfortunately wasn't. It went to none other than Beyonce. And I just have to ask, for how? For how? Taylor Swift, she still clapped though. Absolute respect to her, even though she was snubbed. She cheered Jay-Z, she clapped for Beyonce, and that was the Grammys. The long and short of it is that was the Grammys. It's over. And I want to end this podcast in saying thank you so much for listening to all my rambles. It was a very long one, much longer than I ever thought it could have been. But I missed a lot on what I wanted to talk about, and the Grammys, I wrote down a lot of notes here, and I kind of skimmed through them, so sorry if it was all over the place, but I hope y'all enjoyed. And again, to touch on the Grammys and everything I talked about so far, so much respect shown from artists to the fires, to the fellow artists and to the people, the fans listening and the ones lost and unsure of where to fit in with the state of the world. If we all remember one thing from this Grammys, it's that we must remember Lady Gaga's speech and the fact that we all need to stay together. We need to stand together as one, and the fact as it still reigns true and always fucking will, we must remember that music is love. Music is love. And in saying all of that, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for discovering the music within.